Ladies and gentlemen, I have terrible news. A throwaway job interview that I did. Why did you get charged on PayPal? Oh, it's not. I didn't get charged. I got a notification unrelated to money. A job interview that it was just kind of a throwaway one. I literally saw it on my email in the driveway of a burrito, or the drive-through of a burrito place. And I clicked it. I was like, oh, since it looked like it was like an inn, I was like, I could work at a hotel. I wouldn't mind, right? Horrible news. I got scheduled for an interview today, and I took the interview today. It was a Zoom interview and had like a few different candidates in the Zoom call. The worst news is that it was not an inn or anything. It is a marketing firm named whatever Innovations. I can't remember the name. Hold on, let me find it. Manifest Innovations, which is a marketing firm. That's the terrible news. But I sat through the Zoom call, and the guy, he asked me like a couple of questions, but he was asking the other ones like a lot more questions, like he was showing a lot more interest in them. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't get asked that many questions. I kind of was like, it's whatever. I probably won't get the job, which is probably the best for both of us. Why did I just get tipped $50 from 2 days ago? Sorry, I was looking at my dang Steam page, my Streamlabs as I'm recording. I feel so bad. Did I miss? 2 days ago I wasn't streaming, so that's just an unrelated $50. Shout out to that guy. Doc, if you're watching this, I'm sorry I missed it. Let it be known that I appreciate it. Holy moly. But yeah, and they called me an hour after the interview. I was like, okay, this is probably rejection. Nope. They want me to come in for a second phase. No. They said they're really impressed with my resume. I'm like, for Target? Anyway, we're running the classic Ogryn build. Ripper gun, knife, you know how it goes. Flechette, cavalcade, slaughterer, savage sweep, and then we have heavyweight, smash 'em, best defense, big friendly rock, toughen them up, pumped up, stomping boots, trample, bonebreakersaurus, strike true, batter, slam, bruiser, get stuck in, no pushover, frenzied blows, dominate, delight in destruction, just getting started, impactful, unstoppable, and heavy hitter. That's the build. Let's get into a game, shall we? Alrighty, and we're in. Man, I gotta once again appreciate the tip, Doc J. I believe I know who that is. They're in my Discord. I went to check my Streamlabs settings because $50 definitely not in any of my bank accounts. Turns out my PayPal had disconnected itself at some point. I think it's because I have a business account or something. I really got to downgrade my PayPal back to a personal. I don't know why I ever made it a business. I don't know why. I think it was kind of just like I wanted to see what it was, but by the time I was like, oh, it's not worth it, it was already too late. So I got to hit PayPal up. They would make my life easier. Right, we're playing a new event though. Hello, dog. Really, like, I'm.
For the neck!
Where's my?
Don't mess with the guard.
There we go. That's better. Still really high. There we are. I think TF2 resets my DPI for some reason. Still feels a little high. As low as it goes. No, I don't have my control quick, so. What happened? I couldn't even, I didn't even see what blew me up way past. Hey, that shit sent me flying, that was crazy. Shit just, whoo. Well, guess we're time to browse my phone and take a res as I do to see if there's anything I can see.
Right!
Oh, Muty!
Oh! You know what? I've kind of trash talked my art class a bit. I'm gonna do more. So the introductory of the class was like, oh, answer this little like 5-question questionnaire. Like, oh, what's your name? What like sort of what area? Like, what's the area you like? What are your favorite? So, what's your favorite type of art? Do you have a favorite artist? What are your pronouns? Simple stuff like that. And I personally don't really care what so I use that. It's just something I feel comfortable with, and I want to make people feel comfortable. And there was an extended period of time in my online social circles where everyone thought I was a woman, and I just never corrected them because I didn't see the need to. So I go by, technically I go by anything, right? You know, it doesn't matter to me what people call me. They, them, she, her, he, him, she's him, it's, I don't give a shit. Whatever you want to call me, call me. And that's what I put. I said, well, yeah, I use any pronoun. Feel free to call me. And I figured, that makes sense. That's a pretty easy thing. And then the teacher's like, you need to put down pronouns. Like, I did. And she's like, oh, no, I need a pronoun to call you. I was like, okay. You asked. Okay, and I gave you an answer. By the way, this event has more scaffolding. You know, it's a shame that we got a event that gave us like Darktide money one time and then never again. But I guess with the frequency of these events, I guess it's fine to just kind of have shenanigans going on. Yeah, it's like this teacher feels very like.
Wander off.
I'm not trying to. I'm sure they're whatever person, but like.
Pound down.
What's the term? How do I say it? Very, very like fake quote. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're doing this things because they're like it's the right thing to do rather than actually like. I don't know, it's just like, we had like, in our first post where we had to take 10 photos and decide which ones are bad, including the link of, like, how Nazis attacked art. Why are you unable to understand that I don't have a preference of pronoun? I don't have a preferred pronoun. It's not even like, I'm not, like, maybe she thought it was like, I don't have a preferred pronoun. But, like, I just said I use any, I feel like that's the opposite of woke. No. See you in the next. Not the opposite of woke, that is the true definition of woke. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Alright, we're back. Alright, this time, I'll pay attention to the bomb about to go off and I won't get launched 50 million meters. Yeah. There is a certain amount of people who find it weird when you go by any pronouns. And it's like, why do you care? Just call me anything. Like, come on now. Speaking of wokeness, I guess. Cracker Barrel rebranded. They took out the cracker in the barrel. What are we gonna do? So yeah, that was a bit of a shamam. Like, I've never been to Cracker Barrel, but all I know is that, from what I've heard from other people, is that the taste of like the little bit of white supremacy you get in the food makes it taste better, and they gentrified it. They've gentrified it, and it should not be that way. I don't know why they rebranded. I mean, I know why they rebranded, right? Because they think they can make more money this way. But funny enough, they rebranded and lost like $100 million in stock value like overnight, which is just like insane. Like, a similar thing happened to a restaurant near me called El Pachuvia. Before, it was a beautiful Mexican restaurant. It had like all the warm colors, like the oranges, the reds, the greens, and all this stuff. Like stained glass. It had a bar that was like, it was always like a little loud. There was like a live mariachi band. They would make the guacamole at your table. It was great, you know, like truly kind of like a great experience all around. When the food came out good and it was cheap and the fajitas were aggressive, But I went there a few years ago. I'll say like 6 years ago. Maybe 5 years ago. 5 or 6 years ago. From things are just dropping grenades. And all the warm colors. Like, I knew what, like, gentrification and millennialism, like, millennial minimalism was before then. But this truly was criminal how bad it was. I went in there, hostess, white guy. Bad start already. I guess host, not hostess, but you know what I'm saying. Waiter, white guy with a man bun. Even worse. All the colors stripped away for gray, white, and black. The food was just kind of incredibly mediocre, and for 3 people was over $100. And the fajitas, when they came out, they weren't barking. They weren't even hissing. They were just whimpering sadly on the plate. Well, never go there again. And another restaurant, unfortunately, that was like that great class, like, I don't want to say like stereotypical, like that, but like that stereotypical Mexican restaurant experience where it's like a little loud and like this one had like bird statues hanging from the ceiling. It was great. The vibes, amazing. They unfortunately did not survive COVID, which is a shame because I love that place. Luckily, there is some Mexican restaurants in New York still that are still good. One of them is more of a fast food place, Los Gonzalez. I think that one's like a chain restaurant. I didn't think it was a chain, and then I found another one like very nearby. I was like, oh, it's a chain. The vibes are still great in there. So, as far as I'm concerned, not a chain. I guess maybe these franchise, they're slightly different. And then there's a smaller Mexican restaurant. So unfortunately, like, it can't get all like the crazy stuff going on because it's like, you know, it's like Starbucks, this place. Well, it was a haircut salon. I don't know what's there now. So it's like a bit of a, it's not like it's small, but not like too small. Like you could fit like, I want to say it's got like 40 tables, and then like there's like a bar as well. So it's not crazy big, but it's not crazy small, but it's like not. I'd say like it's almost medium sized. If that makes sense. And that place is great. Because the food is not only really good, high quality food, the waiters are really friendly, and one, there's sports on the TV, which is already a good sign. Oh, thank you.
I'm sure you need something I do. I know, never mind. Not a basis on which to found right. But carry on, I suppose.
Oh, I do not want to get fired. I love Mexican food. It's probably my favorite type of food. Okay, that was just far too much of that. I activated the demon host. Well, apparently there's a demon host. I was gonna go down anyway, I just did not think there was a demon host. And that is anyway, where was I? Since I've seen Zelda's the great sword.
You might offer a little more concern for your company.
Yeah, Mexican food's really good. Love K-barbecue as well, but K-barbecue is expensive. If you're getting K-barbecue, you're ready to drop $200.
This way.
Like, you have to be psychically, like, it's kind of the opposite of like good Mexican food. There's also like good Mexican food. There's also like the trucks. Those are like some of the best places to get Mexican food. And those things are usually cheap. But even Mexican restaurants are like very rarely cheap. Compare the El Pancho Villa post-gentrification with a white boy with a man bun later. 3 people, $130 or something, give or take. And that's with only like 1 alcoholic beverage. So that's already good. And you know, alcohol's always gonna be a little more expensive than like 3 beer or like that. Mexican restaurant I was talking about, the one that's like for 6 people. It's 6 people. And some who got one who got a margarita and one who got a couple beers, right? And then another who got lemonade. Lemonade's also flavored soda, which is criminal because I love lemonade. Strawberry lemonade specifically. It's my favorite type of lemonade. I would like a peach lemonade, but I've never had it. So like, it's one of those things where I know I like it, but I've just never had it to confirm. It was like $175. So that's already, yeah, that's already infinitely cheaper. But like, K-Barbecue, like the one time I went there, I was fully intending to pay it. It was for my birthday, since I never had K-Barbecue. I was like, hey, can we... I feel kind of bad about it to this day, where essentially I talked to my friend, I was like, hey, I kind of want to go to K-Barbecue for my birthday. Can you like, what's a good place to go? And he was like, oh yeah, we'll go. And I was originally be like, oh, I'll go here and then I'll invite everybody and make everything sure. I'll, you know, call ahead if I need to do all that stuff. And then he just did it. He was like, no, it's your birthday. I'll record it. It's like, oh, thanks, man. It was really cool of him. And then when I went to pay, I was gonna at least pay my fair share. He was like, no, gosh, it's your birthday, brother. Please, it's $200 and something. Let me. You have you're a teacher. You are a teacher at this time. You let me help pay. And he didn't let me. But when it was his birthday, I didn't pay anything either because he actually moved to his house. His parents bought him a bunch of K-Barbecue ingredients, and we made K-Barbecue at his house, and it's still really good. Spicy pork belly is my favorite K-Barbecue meat. And he immediately turned to me and he said, hey, look, I still got like $200 worth of K-Barbecue stuff. Can you finish it? And I was like, brother, you just called in the closer. And I did. I ate $200 worth of K-Barbecue to finish up so you didn't have to keep it. And then I had his girlfriend made a delicious matcha cake. And that was delicious. And I had like 3 big slices of that so that they wouldn't have any leftovers. Okay? And it was delicious. And his dad came in, great guy, lovely guy, from Taiwan, very cool. He was like, does anyone want, he came down since he was making himself a coffee, he was like, does anyone want a coffee? And he was like, I can't, what is it? And it, not espresso. It's not marketer's espresso. What is it called? It's like that fancy type where they make the fancy coffee, but it's not like an espresso, it's another thing. Anyway, he made me that. It was really good. It was really delicious. And what I did buy him for his birthday, though, I was going to buy him Pokemon cards. Since I was like, oh, you know, I work at Target, I can get a discount. I'll buy him like 2 or 3 packs. Cool, great. They didn't have any. No Pokemon cards because scalpers are insane. So I ended up just buying him Warhammer Fantasy. He likes Gundam. I was like, okay, well I don't have time to learn to a Gundam. Who'd you want to say? It's like a model sort of fine gun. Nor would I even know where to go. So follow edition on that. So, but Warhammer Fantasy, Target has a specific Warhammer Fantasy thing where you can buy mystery boxes of Sigmar miniatures. So I bought him 2 Sigmar miniatures. I gave it to him. I was like, hey, look, I know these aren't Gundam, but it's like, you know, it's a model build. He's still liking this, like, it's pretty simple. And he was like, no, this is great. This is sick as fuck. I love it. I was very glad he liked it a lot. We did do like some pack openings, and I pulled a hollow. I pulled a full art Houndoom and then I pulled a couple hollows and like one reverse hollow. Oh, what's the tree Pokemon? It's a ghost. I pulled a reverse hollow of that, and then I pulled an EX as well. I can't remember. We did get some cool shinies there. We did get a shiny Charizard. I do know that from that. It was a lot of Pokemon card packs, like a lot. I think like between there was like 7, 8 of us. We all opened like 10 or something. There was a lot of Pokemon cards. Anyway, I love playing Darktide. Okay. Nose bleeding? No, we're good. I know I saw like a lot of Pox versus earlier, but I've not seen as many Pox versus things like that. I've seen like a lot of snap bombers and obviously grenades dropping. Now it makes me want them to add a new type of grenade enemy where it throws like those like grenades that explode rather than the ones that drop fire and gas. That'd be pretty cool. I think where it's like the noise is how you want to get away from it. I'll let you position it. I feel genuinely scammed. My rock. In a civilized world, that would have hit. To talk about college for a second again. We were doing a discussion post for history. We were talking about the collapse of the Bronze Age. And the TLDR of the collapse of the Bronze Age is historians have a tend to focus on the war, and the wars weren't helping. But the wars were like pulling off a scab that never truly got to even start healing. So the area was already it had experienced an incredibly long dry spell. We know this from pollen samples we found that said that there's essentially around a 300-year famine or something. And in fact, in Cyprus, which is the leading area of tin in the area, the closest tin mine the size that Cyprus had was like 3,000 miles away in Saudi Arabia. So obviously that was not a reliable source of energy. But Cyprus couldn't even, it was so dry, it couldn't even, couldn't even do, the most basic agriculture. So it was like that. So one, hungry people, don't want to go in line. Two, tend to revolt. And it also didn't help that at the time, their leaders were being incredibly greedy, right? They were hoarding wealth, and essentially, so people were, one, didn't have any money, weren't getting paid, and were either having to leave areas completely because they could not sustain any sort of agricultural goings on. it was just a whole bunch of things. That already led to instability in everything, right? On top of the famine, areas outside of Egypt, Egypt wasn't experiencing a famine, by the way. The Nile provides, okay? The Nile River, go to its spawn location in the Bronze Age, right? So these areas other than Egypt were experiencing financial troubles and also like starvation problems. On top of that, there were some what archaeoseismologists call crazy great job. Shout out Crash Course. Figured that there was around 30 years of earthquake storms. And earthquake storms are exactly what you said. Earthquakes that consistently happen along the fault, and they essentially like earthquakes essentially like cause each other. You know? So like a large earthquake can lead to larger earthquakes and so on and so forth, and have that repeat in areas of Egypt that got long. So that's one thing. And you know, when you're like, these events alone would have caused people to flee city centers in search of better shelter or more food in droves. So like cities had fallen before even the sword was drawn. And then came the Sea Peoples. Now, the Sea Peoples, that's what they refer to in history, are a mix of cultures from like the Greek era and some like Caribbean era. It's just a bunch of places. Like, there's depictions of them wearing like, some of them are shirtless, some of them are wearing leather, some of them are wearing horned helms, some of them are wearing plumed helms. All types of different cultures were part of the Sea People, and they were essentially like invading the lands here because they were looking for a place to live. Get me out of there, holy moly. And it was just incredibly lucky timing for them. Now, under normal circumstances, these nations, even if they were like somewhat struggling or like a little unstable, they should have been able to deal with the war as is, but the war wasn't enough. People were starving, army communication was like fucked, armies were like sent to other places when there was like leaving other places knowing what they're saying, and it was all bad. And the Sea People, I would be surprised if these people even knew how lucky they were at the time. Like there's like any other time they would have probably been wiped off the floor because of how wealthy these countries were thanks to bronze and whatnot. And like chariots were essentially like chariots are the modern day F-22s, right? They were just that good. So like a chariot crew could like a well-experienced chariot crew could just fucking mince like mince not an entire army, but like just like hundreds of them. However, the Sea People had a very interesting hit and run tactic essentially. So what they would do is, instead of like normal typical like line up spear lines, what they would do kind of like guerrilla tactics, if you will, sort of hit and run stuff where they would like pick off chariots and whatnot by like surrounding them. Like, yeah, sure, you can outrun like hundreds, but about thousands, like all men running at you from all sides while standing in a line, right? And losing one chariot was devastating, because one, that's 2 horses are expensive, trained chariot men, which is another thing, and then the chariot itself, which are incredibly expensive to make over as well. And then like whatever weapons they had on board, which I'm sure wasn't like nice to lose anyway. And it was just bad news. Now the Sea People's invasion into this Bronze Age nations like Cyprus, Mysia, and the Hittite Empire stopped pretty much dead in its tracks at the border of Egypt. Now, Egypt survived the Bronze Age collapse, as we know, because it still exists today. However, whether or not it's recovered at all is not fully from the Bronze Age collapse, is a whole other thing. But but they quote unquote, they guarded the river, the entrance to Nile with boats full of archers. So they essentially like pick out the sea people as they like sailed in. And then they got every single spearman in the country. That's Egypt's words, not mine. Whether or not that's, hyperbole is up to be discerned by historians. To fight off the sea people, they absolutely like slaughtered them. Now, obviously, Egypt still suffered greatly, even in victory after the Boundaries collapsed, because the area was just so unstable that it was bad news bears for everybody.
You don't want to go.
It was actually just like, I mean, really the biggest like absolute like nail in the coffin was the fact that there was a famine going on, and people can't eat, people can't work, people can't mine, people don't want to do anything. There was also like a bunch of like peasant uprisings in the area as well because of the economic instability of the lands. So obviously, it's one thing to fight a war while hungry. It's one thing to have your hungry people like, wait a minute, we don't gotta fight these guys, we gotta fight you. So that's a whole other can of worms. Anyway, I kind of got off topic as we talked about the some of the discussion posts on there, you guys are either ChatGPT or I won't like saying names obviously, but like reading some of them, I was like, oh boy. Do the flip. This part there, you saw that random stab in the air. Not as many pox bursters as I was expecting, but I guess maybe the high intensity shock tool might be eating up the pox burster spawns.
I'm ready.
Going the right way.
Ranning seems impressed, so you can't have done too badly. Let's get you out of there.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do this event on like clandestine glory. That sounds like cocking ball torture, you know? Oh my goodness. Alrighty, well. Nice. If you made this on video, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, or don't. I'm not your mother. It's bread or brush teeth. Have a good one. Bye-bye.